박한길 회장님의 생생하게 꿈꾸면 반드시 이루어진다.
The lecture from Chairman Park Han-gil. We will watch the video first. The life scenario is really important, and you should write down very passionate dreams that can make you crazy. And you should vividly imagine your successful self, and if you are determined to realizing that dreams, then you will succeed. But people don't really want to hear that they are crazy, but you should be courageous enough to be told that you are crazy. And when you imagine your dream very vividly, then your attitude, your eyes, everything of you will change. That is the principle of success. Atomy's captain, Atomy's brand, the most respected CEO for the 4 consecutive years, Chairman Park Han-gil. Please welcome him with a big hand. Please be seated. So we have a new way for the lecture. He is now sitting in a seat, so we will have a Q&A session. So we have a very dark stage. Please give him a big hand.
오늘 대단히 열정적인 강의를 기대하시는 것
If you
같은데
expect a very passionate lecture,
그런
actually,
강의는 뭐 유튜브에
that would
들어가면
not
다 나와 있습니다.
happen today, and you
제가
can see
젊은
those
날
lectures
방방
on
뛰었던 그런 강의.
YouTube channel
그래서
when
오늘 또 다시
I
뛰지
was
않겠느냐
young. That I
그러는데
filmed when I was
아예
young. I
시끄러워.
was like jumping. Don't make that noise.
아예 안 뛰려고
Then I will not jump.
자리에 앉았습니다.
So I am sitting now.
그래서 너무
I am
방방 뜨는 모습 기대 안 하셨으면 좋겠고요.
I'm sitting in the
그 대신에
chair. So don't expect me to jump like before. So I want to have a like a dialogue with you.
얘기를 좀 이어가도록 하겠습니다. 어차피 뭐 날밤을 새야 되니까.
Because we will be here up until very late night. So we have changed the way to proceed. So I have a question. So this is the 2-day seminar, first 2-day seminar in 50 months. How do you feel?
예, 뭐 나를 왜 불렀는지.
And I don't really know why
그리고
I'm here.
저를 과거의 저와 이렇게 유튜브 속에 있는 저하고 경쟁을
And
시켜가지고
you are
이기라고
trying
자꾸
to
부추기는데
let me beat myself, younger self, on the YouTube channel.
끌려가는 기분입니다.
And I feel like
언제까지 해야 되냐 하고 우리 참모진들 좀 원망스럽기도 하고.
I am not happy with my staff members and my leaders because they are keep asking me to do this. But I think they can do this as well.
편하게 얘기하는 거예요 지금.
I am saying this
그래서
in a very genuine
못
manner.
살게 구는구나 하는
And
그런
I'm
심정입니다.
just
모르니까
thinking
대답하는
that
거예요.
they
그걸 왜
are
물어볼 거야?
trying to let me work very hard. So we have those members for the Success Academy, and they want to succeed. And we also have some newbies, and they would wonder, what I should do to become
애터미
successful.
회원분들께서 가장
That is
궁금한
the
그런
most
강의
asked
내용 중에
questions, I
하나가 바로
believe.
성공의 8단계입니다.
And the 8
지금 저희
steps
유튜브
for
조회수도
success
그렇고
is
회장님의
the
성공의
most
8단계를
viewed
통해서 사업 진행할
video
주시는
on the
분들이
YouTube
굉장히 많은데요.
channel.
첫 번째 질문 드리겠습니다.
So this is the first
많은 분들이
question.
꿈을 크게 꾸라는 얘기를 들으시고 꿈과
When
목표가
many
제일
people are
중요하다는
told
말씀을
that dreams and
들으시는데요.
goals are very
나름대로 꿈을
important,
꿨지만
they
그것을
have
잘 보고
dreams,
있는 건지,
but they don't
내 목표
know
설정을 하긴
if their
하는데
dreams are
잘하고 있는
right,
건지
if they
약간
set the right
좀 궁금하시는
goals.
분들이 많으신 것 같아요. 회장님께서는 우리가 꿈과 목표 설정에 있어서
So
정말
for
중요한
when it
포인트가
comes to
어떤 거라고
setting goals
생각하시는지
and
질문
dreams, what
드리겠습니다.
do you think is the most important?
저는 그 성공하게 관한 책은 한 250권
I
정도를 읽은 것
wrote,
같아요.
read like
그래서,
250
이제 주로
books
성공하는
regarding
미국에서
success,
발달된
and this
학문입니다.
is
그러니까
mainly
거기에
from
이제
the US.
처음 그 성공하게 그 과제를 던진 분은 카네기예요, 카네기.
And it started
카네기가
from Carnegie.
자기는 아주 가난한 집의 아이로 태어났어요.
He was
그런데
from a
세계적인
very
부자가
poor
된
family,
거예요.
but he became
그런데
one of the
내가
richest
다시
person
가난한
in the
집의 아이로
world.
태어나더라도
And he
내가
asked
부자가 될 수
himself
있을까?
if I
이렇게
can
생각을
become rich
해봤어요.
again,
그랬더니 자기는
if I were
10번을
born
가난한
again
집의
from
아이로
a
태어나도 10번
poor
다
family.
성공하고
And
100번을
his answer was
가난한 집의
yes.
아이로
10
태어나도
times,
100번
okay, I
다
can do it.
성공을
And
할
100
수가
times,
있다는
okay, I
확신이
can
드는
also do
거예요.
that.
그런데
He was very
그럼 왜
confident.
많은 사람들은
Then he
왜
wondered
성공을
why
못할까?
so many people are not
이제
successful.
이런 의문을 가지고
He asked himself this question.
그것을 이제 정리를 해서
So
사람들에게
he
알려줘야
kind of
되겠다.
tried to
왜 카네기는
summarize those his
100번을 가난한
thinkings
집의
to
아이로
let
태어나도
people
100번
know
다
how to
세계적인
succeed,
부자가 될 수 있다는
because
확신을
he
얻었냐면은
is very
자기는
confident
성공의 법칙을
that
알고
he
있는 거예요.
will become successful
많은
like for
사람들이
100
성공의
times
법칙을
again
모르는
because
거예요.
he knows the
그래서
principle
가난하게
of
사는
success.
거예요.
But many others don't really know the principle. That is
그래서
why
이제
they are poor.
이 나폴레옹 힐이라고 하는
Napoleon Hill,
20대에
who's in his
백악관 출입
20
기자가 있었어요.
years, he is
그래서
a
이제 이 청년에게 제안을
reporter
합니다.
for the
어떤
White
제안을
House,
하냐면은
and
내가 500명의
Carnegie asked
성공한
the
사람들의
reporter
명단을 주겠다.
to do
당신이
a job.
이거를
I'll give you a list of 500 successful
이제
people.
10년 동안 이
So you can
사람들을
spend
다
10
조사해서
years
연구를 해라.
to do a research for
연구를
them.
해서 여기서 이
And
500명이라는 성공한 사람들이
you can
어떻게 성공을
also
했는지 하나의
find
법칙을
out
찾아내라.
one single
이렇게 이제
principle
과제를 준
behind
거예요.
their success.
그러면서 보수는 아무것도 없다. 이렇게
And
된 거예요.
I will not give you anything.
그러니까 그 제안을
So this was a
나폴레옹
suggestion made
사람한테만
by
한 것이
Carnegie,
아니고 만나는
but
그런 가능성 있는
it
사람들이
was
그
suggested
제안을 한
to
거예요.
many
그런데
people, not only
그거를
to
조사하고
the
뭐 그런
reporter.
법칙을 찾아내는 건 좋은데
Of course,
아니 이 부자
they can
할아버지가
do
세계적인
this
부자
research,
할아버지가
but
보수를
the
하나도 안
rich
주겠다고 하니까 다들 안
guy
하겠다고 하는 거예요.
is not trying to give
나폴레옹
money,
힐이라는
but
이
Napoleon
청년이
Hill, the young guy,
이 위대한
when he was
선곡자가
suggested this task,
자기한테 가르쳐주는 이 법칙을 찾아낸다고
he
하면
thought that
그 법칙만 알고 있으면은
if
나도
I
부자가 되겠구나.
manage to
굳이 이
find
할아버지한테
out
돈을
the
받을 필요가
principle,
없구나.
then I can
이런
also
생각이
become
들어가지고
rich.
하겠다고
So
한
he
거예요.
said yes.
그래서 이제 그 500명의
And that's
명단을
how
들고
he started the research with the list of 500 people. So he did the research about their background, like if they are smart or not, if they're from a rich family. The research result showed that not all of them were from rich family. Actually, their starting point was very similar. I think it's a little bit cold. Could you give me a jacket, or could you turn off the air conditioner? I'm cold.
그래서 그렇게 이제 출발점은 보니까 굉장히 다양한.
So their starting point were different, but all of 500 were at the top and they have something in common. That was the success. So they conducted research on it, and the result was that the successful people envisioned their future before they became successful. They envisioned their future like a dream, very vividly. And all of their future will come from their mind in the past, a few years ago. Then, what are the common things of the failures, like the losers? Let's imagine 5 years and 10 years ago. Did you envision yourself vividly in your mind? Please question yourself. And then you might think that 10 years ago or in the past, you might not have envisioned that kind of picture in your mind. But now you need to paint it vividly and in more detail. For example, you need to at least plan for your retirement life. And how much money do you need for your retirement life? Guess what? I calculated it. On behalf of you, I think we need at least 3 billion Korean won. That was my calculation. Because let's think that we live from, our retirement life will be from 60 to 90s, and for the 30 years, we might live a life without any incomes. So in order to be ready for our elderly life, we need to have 3 billion Korean won at least. If we get sick, we need someone who will take care of us. We need some driver, and we need we need a person who could clean up our houses, because I cannot let my children clean up my houses. I might need someone else to help me. In that time, I might need much more money. So at least I need 3 billion Korean won in order to live a life a human being, because I could not be burdensome to my children and my children-in-law. In order to be independent, I need to at least have that kind of money. And then I need to also help the people around me for those in need. For example, if you have any relatives who get sick but they cannot get treatment because they don't have money, if you can give money to them, you might feel really bad. So that's why I calculated that I might need at least 3 billion Korean won in order to live a human being like a life. In order to help the agonies of my people around me, I might live a comfortable and convenient life. And as a result, I might need at least 3 billion Korean won. So that is the minimum. And how much would be the maximum? I also calculated it would, if it is over 10 billion Korean won, it means nothing. Because at that time, I might live in the same house, I drive the same car, and then I don't need to clean my bathroom. So when I have 3 billion, when I have 10 billion, the situation will be the same. So I don't need over than 10 billion. So I calculated that over 10 billion Korean won means nothing. So 3 billion is the minimum and 10 billion will be the maximum. Let's imagine that I might be hospitalized. I could use the single room and the large room. It would cost some million Korean won per night. And if we have at least 10 billion Korean won, nothing matters. If we have 10 billion Korean won, we could also have some interest. Daily interest. It is about 1 million Korean won on a daily basis. If the interest rate is about 3 to 4%, if you have at least 10 billion Korean won, if you put that money in a bank account, you might get 1 million Korean won every day. If you have interest of 1 million Korean won every day, do you need more? No, I don't think so. Because 1 million per day is enough. So once again, 3 billion is my minimum, and over 10 billion means nothing. And then over 10 billion need to be shared with someone else and someone others. So now I'm trying to flow the over amount to others, to
집사람한테 기대갖고 살면 되겠다. 이렇게
the other places.
아니, 또 따라서 또 이렇게 흘려보내고 있네.
And that's my wife is also following my sharing, because at least we have 3 billion Korean won.
이 어떤 모습으로 성공할 것인가가 머릿속에
You need to envision
있어야 된다는 거예요.
yourself
5년, 10년
being successful vividly. Let's imagine 5 years ago and 10 years ago. Did you
안 세웠어요?
plan this kind of future? If you didn't,
복이 없는 이유는 5년,
the reason that you're poor today and you don't have 3 billion Korean won now is because you didn't envision yourself in the past. So in 30 years and 50 years later, if you want to live a different life from now on, from today, you need to make something different. And then in order to make the change, you need to do the one thing. Because all of the 500 successful people uses this method.
성공할 것인가가 머릿속에
It was envisioning yourself vividly,
속에 있는
yourself of the future in vividly.
나의 모습
So you need to express that imagination outside. The Bible states that all of the invisible came from the visible things. And then the visible came from the invisible. So let's say that your successful yourself will come from the invisible.
여러분이 머릿속으로 생각하고 있는 거
If you envision something in your mind, for example, I will have at least 3 billion Korean won, or I will make 100 million Korean won per month as an imperial master, in that kind of imagination need to be in your mind before you become an imperial master.
그러면은 여러분들이 5년이든 10년
And in 10 years, in 20 years,
뭐 30억을 통장에 넣어놓은 성공자가 되든
you could be the successful person who have 3 billion Korean won in your bank account, and you could also become a successful person who have 100 million Korean won in your bank account every month. In order to achieve that, you need to envision yourself vividly. Of course, you could do it for a short period of time, but after some time being, all of this imagination disappears because you kick them out of your mind. Oh, I can't. I never do that. I cannot make 3 billion. I cannot make 100 million Korean won a year or a month. It is you yourself kicking out that kind of thoughts out of your minds. We call it a negative thought.
그런데 이 머릿속에 들어있는 미래의 나의 모습은 아직 내가 아니야.
But
내가 나가라고 그러면은 획 나.
uh,
말고 계속 있어 그러면
if you try to kick that kind of mind from out of your mind, it might disappear because it is not yourself
내지 않고 붙들어 놔야 돼.
yet.
그걸 붙드는
You need to stick to that thought before they disappears. And there is a solution. All of the solution is related to your words.
한 달에 이제
You need to keep saying
30억 이상 100억
that I will make 3 billion Korean won or 100 million Korean won per month.
임페리얼
You need to keep saying
1억씩이 들어오는
that I will become an imperial master making 100 million Korean won a month.
옛날에
In the past,
어느 날 그러더라고.
Park Jong-soo imperial master
뽑아가지고 막 사업하러 다니라고
told me
못 찍어봤나 봐.
that
그런데 어느 날 가가지고 틈이 나서 통장을
she scanned her bank book
넣었더니
using the automatic teller machine, and she got thrilled. And she also repeated
그런데
several times. And then
차에서 도로 가져가
she said
다른 통장으로 얼른 옮겨놓고
she withdrew that money from her bank account and she put it into the bank account because she was afraid that company might take that money from her. She couldn't believe it as a reality, even though she saw it with her bank accounts. Even the Imperial Master couldn't believe it. Now, if we have difficult time to envision that in our mind, you need to stick to it and you need to get used to it. If someone always say that I would like to make only 10 million Korean won, but now if you say you want to make 100 million Korean won a month, you might say that, you might make excuses for yourself, and you try to kick the future of you, the you of the future out of your mind. We call it the life of disaster. Because that is why most of the people have a disastrous life. 99% of the people fail like this. Only 1 out of 100 people could make 3 billion Korean won. And most of the successful people did it. When we look into the conditions of the successful people, they're not the winners of the math contests or competitions. If you think like that, please raise your hand. Yes, as you can see, even though you're not the winner of the Olympiad or the math contest, you have the possibility to become a successful person, because not all of the successful persons were the winner of the math contest and so on. Because if that was the principle, I also could not become rich. In my childhood, when I was a student, I wasn't that much good at mathematics. But I could say I was so diligent. Even though I didn't know that math problems, I just stared at that problems, and I read the other books underneath the desk. And teacher called me then, but I was so much concentrated on the book, and when teacher called me, I didn't answer, and the teacher hit me at the back of my head. He said all of the bad students to read this kind of books, like read historical book in a math time and read the math book in a history time.
엄청 억울했어. 그래서 내가 그 얘기를 이번에 저 국민일보
I think it was so unfair. So I wrote that story in Gungmin Daily Newspaper. I was about to write down the teacher's name, but I didn't because I knew his name. Anyways, I didn't write down his name. The name of the teacher is G something Che. Anyways, the name is so unique. That's why I remember the name. So let me say, if I say only smart people could be successful, most of the people here might give up your dream. Or all of the successful people need to run 100 meters very fast. Most of the people here might give up, except 1 or 2. But regardless of this condition, the successful people have something in common. That was, all of the successful people envision their future being successful. For example, Henry Ford envisioned the picture of road filled with cars. Now, yes, we can see the waves of the cars on the road, but back then it wasn't. Henry Ford, when he lived like 100 years ago, imagining the waves of cars and vehicles was absurd. Back then there was no gas station. The roads were unpaved. So when people drove their car, it was so uncomfortable because the roads were all unpaved, the cars stopped running and the engine turned off and so on. And back then, it was also really difficult to ignite the engine. They need to circle this kind of belt in order to ignite the engine. And in order to run a long way, they need to put one gas container on the back of the car because there weren't no gas stations on the road. No heaters on the vehicles as well. Air conditioners? No. Even in the winter, they needed to drive without a heater. In the summer, they need to drive without an air conditioner. But he envisioned the future filled with the cars on the street, and he envisioned it, and it came true. And in order to achieve it, he decided to lower the price of the vehicles. And Ford invented the car Model T, and he manufactured that car. We call the vehicles of the past batch type. People go to the car taking the components and they put the components step by step. But he invented a conveyor system. So people are standing at the same place and the conveyors are moving and the vehicles are moving with the components. And he invented this kind of conveyor system. And after a circle of the conveyor, they could make the completed version of the vehicles. And then, thanks to that, the cost of vehicle decreased a lot. And the era of the my car could be created thanks to Henry Ford. Henry Ford envisioned the picture of the future filled with the waves of the car. That's how he became successful globally. And let me take an example of Edison. We said that he had over thousands of experiments and he made thousands of failures, and he said that, no, I found 1,000 ways of inlining, blah, blah, blah. There are a lot of gossips over him. So people just randomly calculated the time, so it is not correct. Anyways, Edison always envisioned the future where it's bright even at night. He envisioned the bulb in his mind. And now the streets are so bright thanks to that bulbs. Back then, they could light up with the candles and lamps, and they need to use the oils in order to light up. But now, when they move around, they need to carry their gas stations in order to fuel. And he lived that kind of life, but he wanted to make the life brighter than before, and he envisioned that future brightly. And then that imagination came true. This is how the successful people could become successful. Like this, all you need to do is to make a decision first by yourself. If you really want to be that successful, you need to go crazy first. And you need to think that I will love myself if I could achieve my dream. Let's imagine that you drive a luxurious car. Let's imagine that your house is really good, really luxurious. But it is not just one house. You have several houses and you need to consider which house you will live. And you will also own an apartment and a house at the same time. You don't need to worry about the housing type because you might have various houses. You could also buy a house to your children, and you could provide a lot of options to your children as well. You need to envision this future. I know that you really want to live this life, and let's think about the possibility. Do you think that this is possible? To be honest,
you are having great answer. You might say that is a good dream, but It is not realistic. So you might have these thoughts in your mind, right?
그런 인간을 뭐라고 그러냐? 부정적인 인간.
We call them negative people.
그게 거의 모든 사람이 다
And that is the case for most of the people.
안 된다는 소리 이런 소리들 속에서 다 올라와. 그럼에도 불구하고 성공하는
Despite
사람은
that,
어떤 사람이냐?
those successful people, they don't listen to those
어떤
minds.
소리만 듣느냐?
What they listen to
그 성공하는
is the
일선은
thoughts
가능한
that
그 소리만
you can make it.
동굴에 갇혔을 때
If you're in a dark,
저 동굴 입구에 동전만한 불빛이 보이면은
if you're in a dark cave,
어떤 사람이냐?
if you can
동전만한 불빛만
see a very small light,
동굴 밖으로 나오는
and
사람은
if you follow that small light, then you can get out of it.
이렇게 어둠이 가득 차 있는데
But if you think that this is so dark,
동전만한
I have only that small light,
말도 안 돼.
I cannot
계속
get out of it,
그 사람들이 실패자다.
and they would fail.
여러분들 어떻게 하시겠어요?
What would you choose?
그거를 제가 선택을 해가지고
So you can make a selection, and I want to help you. I want to make the decision for you, but I can't change your mind, change your brain. So it's you who can do that. You are the owner. You are the leader of your life. You are not the owner. Why?
여러분들이 여러분을 만들지 않았어.
Because you didn't create yourself.
지금 여러분들이 여러분을 만들었다고 하면은 혼날 사람들이 많아.
If you say you created yourself,
안 봤냐고.
then you might have to blame yourself.
만들었어.
Look at your
너는 또왜 그렇게
appearance,
만들었어? 막
your
혼날
height.
사람들이 많아.
So you will be blamed, but you will not be blamed. Why?
내가 만든 게
Because you are not the person who created yourself.
삶의 주인은 아닌데
So you are not the owner of your life.
여러분의
However, you can lead your life. You can take the lead. So what kind of life you want to live?
그런데
You can take that lead. But many people just believe what others believe.
30억이 누에 기름인 줄 알아?
$3 million? No way.
너 공부 어떻게
Not possible. I know you were a bad student at school. Then you will become very anxious and nervous. You will be influenced by those thoughts and
표를 세워놓은 그
phrases. But you should lead your life.
적을 수가 있어요.
Of course, your voices might very soft right now,
그런데 거기에다만 귀를 기울여.
but you should listen to that voice, that soft voice. You should ignore other voices.
그거를 여러분들이요.
That should be what you need to do, and you should do that intentionally.
한 달에 1억을
For example, I can earn $100K every month. You can shout it out every morning and every night. And the best way to do this is that tell everyone that I started this Atomy business with which I can earn $100K every month. I can help you. Let's do that together. Let's do this business together. And if you keep saying that, then the person who listened to that phrase the most is you yourself. So if you keep saying that phrases, then yourself would change.
자기를 변화를 시킬래요, 안 시킬래요?
Do you want to change yourself?
망할 놈이라고 계속 너는 가난하게 살
Do you want to tell yourself you should be poor forever? Or do you want to say you will become rich? Which one do you want?
자, 나는 부자가
Follow after me.
수 있다는 얘기를
I can be rich.
다 손 들어보세요.
I will tell this phrase. Raise your hand.
아, 예, 예, 예.
Okay.
뭐 더 얘기해야 돼?
Should I add more?
회장님 감사합니다.
Thank you for your answer. Please give him a big hand.
회장님 오늘도 정말 많은 분들이 이 시간에
So
참여하셨는데요.
we are joined by a lot of people here. I think there are newbies and they are trying to make decisions before starting this business. And I think there will be some people who would hesitate to start this business. This is something I already answered.
이제 뭐 성공의 8단계.
So we have the 8 steps for success. The first step
목표 설정.
is setting the goal.
목표 설정은
It's about goal setting.
내가 열정적인 사람으로 변해야 된다.
And you should be passionate.
열정적인 사람으로 변하려고
In order to
하면
become passionate,
목표가
you need to have your dream that can drive you crazy.
이거 하다가 죽어도
When the dream is realized,
들어야 된단 말이에요.
you should have that
그래서 여러분들이
ambitious dream.
우리는 균형 잡힌 삶이라는
We have
인생
balanced life,
시나리오를
life scenario, right?
그거를 제일 중요하게
And that is
생각하는
the
거예요.
most important thing in Atomy.
그러니까 인생 시나리오를 쓰는데
So we write the life scenario,
정말 눈물이 줄줄 났다.
and if you cried,
사람들은 다 성공을 해.
then I believe they would, if you would succeed.
새벽까지 못 썼대.
And some people say
정말
they couldn't write down the life scenario like until very late night. I have a very desired house and I want to do many things for my children, for my parents.
정말 이렇게 될 수 있어.
And the dream would drive me crazy. They would say writing down those dreams were very difficult for them. The Crown Master Ju Jin-han used to be the leader of a bank branch, and he said it was a very difficult time for him because that was a very desired dream for him. As a bank manager, as an elite, he knew that he couldn't realize the dream. So he quit the job and tried to find a new way. And now he's an Atomy. And now he can write down his dreams. And that was a very difficult time for him. So he took a walk for a while. And it took him a lot of time to write down the dreams because he felt like it is a very ambitious dream for him. But some people just take it very don't take it seriously. Okay, I can do it or not. No way, you should not do that. You should be very, very serious about life scenario. You should think that if I can realize the dream, then I can even die. I am willing to die. I am willing to not sleep forever. So if you want to be very passionate, you should have love in your mind. If you want to be successful for yourself, then you don't really have to work very hard. If it's only for you yourself, then you can work or take some break. But if the goal is to help your family members, your beloved families, your husband, your wife, if they are not happy forever because I failed to earn enough money, for example, your children's education, you don't really see any clear future for your children, and that is why you keep saying, you keep telling them to study. Do you want to be a great parent? I will tell you how. I established a school, so I can tell you how. Very simple. You can tell them, my son, my daughter, you don't have to study. You don't have to earn money. Money can be, I can give you money.
네가 낳는 자녀들
and your children.
먹고 살 거를 해결해 놓을
I will also support your children, so you don't forget about earning money.
돈 버는 거 말고도
For
진짜 가치 있는
human
감을 느낄 수
beings,
있는
for us, there are many things that can reward you in a very different ways
얘기를 해주면은 훌륭한 부모라고
that
생각을
that is very important, more important than earning money.
진짜 그런 부모 만나면은
Aren't they so great parents? It would be you. I would say hallelujah
하지 마 이러면서
if I have that such parents.
밤도 낮도 없이 막
But if you
긍정적으로 하는 걸 보니까
uh,
진짜 우리 엄마 우리 아빠가 해낼 것 같아.
and your children would think that, oh, my mom and my father can make it because they are very passionate day and night, and they would think, but still to
공부는 어떤
live a decent life, I will study.
재밌는 애들이 해야 돼.
And
막 머리가 아플 때는 수학 문제를 풀면은 막
those
이런
children who really enjoy study should study.
실제로 그런 사람 봤어.
And I have seen those people who really enjoy study. I didn't really like them.
그래서
I envy them.
여러분들이 자녀들에게
So, if you want to be a good parent for your children,
훌륭한 아이들이 될 수 있어요.
then you should be able to say that, and that way your children will be respected by others. If you keep them
여유들이
compete against, if you make them compete against others, then they don't really want to lose.
스트레스 받고
They are stressed out
다잘 되세요.
for
제가 부족한 일은
being a loser.
거둘게요. 아유 높은 자리
But if you are a good parent with a lot of money, then your children would be also kind to others.
낮은 자리에 가서 일하는 사람이
And
어떤 사람이 될 것 같아? 자 거기에 회장을
can you
뽑을
imagine
것 같아.
their future?
올라가려는 놈을 뽑을 것 같아.
There are some people who want to be a winner, but there are others who want to do those other jobs, not important jobs. The second one will be the leader, right?
돈도 오나 하고.
And they are very kind and smart, but still they are willing to take the lowest position. Why? Because their parents
그래서
set by example
여러분들이
and gave them a lot of confidence. So
내가 어떤 삶
you should vividly imagine your life in your mind.
정말 내가
You should have a very clear dream for your loved family members.
이제 뭐 강경화 당뇨로 시한부 판정을 받으니까 월세방
When I was diagnosed with diabetes
빚 있는데 두고 가야 된다고 생각하니까 정말 내가
and
할 수만
hepatic
있는 모든 것을
cirrhosis, I realized that I want to do everything that I can.
지원워 임성택 박정수 뭐
Imperial Master Imtek Park Jong-soo, those
리더들
only leaders,
처지여서
they faced a lot of difficulties, and I really want them to become successful. And for me myself,
내가 죽더라도
I want to
뭐 집이라도 한 채 좀 남겨주고 갔으면 좋겠다.
have a house for my children
그런 생각
before leaving this world.
밤낮 없이 항상
So that is why I worked really hard day and night.
우리 열심히
Because we faced a lot of difficulties. So that is why we work together so very hard.
담배 안 끊으면 막 송.
So I was very stick to them,
왜 그렇게 할 수가 있느냐?
quit
어떻게
smoking,
보면은요,
and
그런
work
회장하고
hard.
우리 제품을 사주는 고객들이잖아요. 고객을 막 담배
But
끊으라고 손가락
actually, they are the consumers.
왜 그렇게
But
할 수가
still,
있었냐면은
I
정말
told those
성공했으면 좋겠다.
I was so strict to them. Why? Because I wanted to become very successful with them together. Because I felt sorry about my life when I had to leave my family members without any asset for them.
손가락을 자르듯
So I was so determined to working very hard together with them.
간절함이 있었기
So I was so
제가 그렇게 막
desperate,
뭐라고 하더라도요.
and everyone was so desperate at the time.
허리빨 내린다고 그랬어요.
So when I was very stick to them, they still endured all those things, and we are still very good friends.
박용옥 사장님.
Imperial Master Park Kyung-wook and Im Seung-taek,
아니 저술 고래여 가지고
he is a good drinker. He can drink a lot.
365일 중에 366일을
Like
술 먹는데.
he drinks for 366 days every year.
내가 봤을 때는
I think
내가 봤을 때는 인간이 아니었어요.
he's not a human.
근데 뭐 인생 완전 자포자기가 돼가지고
And he gave,
술 먹고
almost gave up his life.
어느 날저 임승택
Maybe because he faced a lot of difficulties. And Imperial Master Im Seung-taek,
같이 이렇게 가는데 딸이 와가지고 아빠 차 2,000원 그러는데
his daughter said, $1? Give me $1. And
그런 얘기.
I don't have
그러면은
money.
우리가 그렇게
So we have those stories.
아니면은
right?
정말 우리가
Then
좀, 우리 몸이
we can choose one.
정말
We can give up, or we can do our best for our family.
나도 나지만은 당신들 그렇게 살지.
I myself and you, I said,
그래서
should not give up your life.
어차피 우리가 죽는데
And one day we will die.
진짜 말 안 들었어.
So we did a lot of
우리
missionary job. They were not a good student. Imperial Master Park Jung-suk, she didn't really come. Okay, later, she said.
그래가지고 어느 날 내가
So one day,
여기 주머니에다가 그때
in my pocket,
살 때인데
because I was living in a very small house, but I had $100 in cash.
그래가지고 복음 사경이 한다고 하는데 없는 거야 사람들이.
And when we have the
아이고 회장님 이번에
gospel on journey,
다음에는 꼭 갈게요.
I was joined by a very small
싶어가지고
number of people. And when I called them, they say, next time, maybe next time.
안 온다고 그러면 또 난리를 치니까
And they, in front of me, they would say yes.
차비도 줄까?
So I would have that cash, and I would ask them if I want to give them the $100.
내가 나는 10만 원
And later she said, I gave her $200,
이렇게
not $100.
준 거예요.
So I gave her cash, and she came to church.
졸려가지고
And
그때 그랬대 그냥 내가 다시는
she was too sleepy, and she said, I would never come again, even with cash.
그 우리 박경옥 임페리얼은 진짜 술고
Imperial Master Park Kyung-wook, he drinks a lot. He loves drinking.
또 말이 또 이게
They
아름답지가 않아요.
don't really talk
보면은 막그
in a beautiful way.
그래가지고 막 본인은 그냥 하는 얘기야.
Of course, that's not very
듣고 막
mean. That's not mean.
놀래가지고
He didn't mean.
와가지고 막
But a lot of ladies would come to me,
그런 얘기를 내한테.
and Imperial Master Park Kyung-wook said this and that to me.
지금 보면은 다 그게 다 법적으로 문제가 되는 내용들이에요.
So these are very
근데
bad
본인은
things.
그냥 아무렇지도 않아 막 그냥. 근데 이제 이 복음 사경에 와서 복음을
So during the gospel on journey,
술 담배 쫙 끊고
but one day he quit smoking, he quit drinking, and ultimately changed himself.
정말 인간 됐죠 정말.
she changed a lot.
그때 뭐 얘기하면 집에
He changed a lot.
방바닥이 너무 차가워.
After coming back home,
발바닥을 다 발바닥에 방바닥에다 못
the house was freezing.
꽃발 들고 다녔다는 그런 얘기. 그걸 뭐 자랑이라고 하고 있어. 하여간 소갈머리가 없어서.
So that was a very good story, but still he kept saying those stories. But now I respect him because he is an imperial master.
네, 회장님 감사합니다.
Thank you.
저희가 정말 성공하기 위해서 또 인생 성공의 8단계대로 진행을 하다 보면
In order to be successful, we need to follow the 8 principle of the 8 success. We know that we need to write down the list, but when we really write down the list, it is not really easy. So in order to introduce Atomy, we need to start writing down the list. And how can we start it? And let's imagine a wedding ceremony. There might be 100 from the bride and 100 from the groom. And half of them couldn't really make it there. So on average, normally people know at least 250 people.
우리가 명단 작성을
So when we start writing down the list,
것은 할 사람을 적는 것이 아니고
we need to write down the person that we know already. If you say that I don't have much people around me,
것이 아니고 할 사람이 있는 거예요. 자기가
it's because you're thinking you're finding the person who are really doing this business.
터미를 하면서요.
But when we do this business,
안 했던 사람들 중에서
I sometimes meet people who started this business who I didn't expect before. Now, Choi Gyu-jung Crown Master and his aunt was in the different line. So they met in the Atomy seminar. So she said, "How come you came here?" And Kyu-jung, how come you came here? And then it found out that her auntie is in the different line, and her auntie didn't realize that her nephew is doing the network marketing. So the aunt and the nephew don't know each other doing the same business. So they were really shocked seeing each other, and they realized that both of them are doing the same business. But because their groups were large enough, they could not combine their groups. Anyways, this kind of thing could happen. So don't predict and don't make a judgment in advance. I used to be a business member before. I did a lot of experiences before as a business member and the management and so on. As a business member, I reached the top. When I was a beginner, I recruited a lot of people, and in that recruitment process, I try to introduce the company to 100 people every day. I introduced the company, product, and the systems. And my first goal is to meet 10 people a day and introduce them to 10 people a day. One of them didn't reply me, and one of them wanted to know more about the business plan, and one of them wanted to get more information about the network marketing, and one of them had really bad perception of the MLM marketing. So I made a decision to introduce these 3 to 10 people a day. That was my goal. One day I met 9 people, and it was already 10 p.m. at night.
그날 적어놓은 친구가 하나 있어. 근데 그놈이
And I found one last name in my list, but that friend was not really nice. I thought that he might get angry when I talk about it, so I didn't go home, and I just came to his house, and I was sitting on the swings on the playground, in the playground. So I just decided to stay up all night in that playground because I made a promise with myself that I will never go to a house if I didn't talk it to 10 people a day. It's around November or December, around 11 at night.
그게 막
the temperature went low and it was so chilly. After an hour, my body temperature also dropped, and I was afraid to stay up all night at that playground. So I just made up my mind to call him. I said, "Are you sleeping?" He said, "No." So please come down. I am at the playground of your house apartment. So my friend came down and I could not start talking about it and I just roaming around for 30 minutes and my friends noticed that there's something I needed to talk. And he just nodded and we just had some casual conversation, but all of the conversation were blank. And the moment of truth came. I started to talk. I started network marketing and I wanted to introduce one product and it will be good for your wife. And what I expected was that my friend will get angry and mad at me. But my friend said, "Wow, you started? I think that's the future of the business, and I think you're so brave and you're so courageous." And this is his reaction. And he said, "Please give me one product." And now you wanted to talk about it, so you just spent 30 minutes for nothing? And he said, "Please let me know how much it is." And that moment, I realized the principle of the sales. I realized that doing or not doing is up to the ones. So I realized the law of one's mind. You don't really know whether that person would do it or not. It's your mind. But no matter how hard you are considering, you cannot make the result and you cannot make the right prediction. If you think that that person will not do this, and if you not really start talking about it, because you think that that person will not do it, the result might be the opposite. So doing or not doing is all up to one's mind. I might say the past principle of sales is the law of one's mind. It is, please repeat after me, law of one's mind. You don't need to think about it and you don't need to consider. But as a beginner salesman, they are so worried about the reaction of the people. But once you realize that law, you just start talking about it. And they might think that you're not the only one who will listen to the stories. Because once you start talking about it, the remaining part is totally dependent on the listeners. So please follow the law of one's mind. First of all, you need to write down the list with 250 people, and then you need to start talking about it. You need to say, "Have you heard of absolute price, absolute quality?" And you need to also say something difficult. You don't need to use the plain words because you don't also know well. So just talking about it. And sometimes you could use some difficult terms. If you only talk about the simple and plain things, it might not be that much interesting. So to say in English, absolute quality, absolute price. No one else might listen to that principle because I coined this term. And you need to say that this is a state-of-the-art business and you can make 100 million Korean won a month, and we are now expanding globally and it is gaining a lot of reaction from the abroad, and in the era of the AI, a lot of jobs would disappear and all of the people will gather into this industry. So we need to be the front runner, and it is not that much difficult. We are not selling the product. First of all, you can sell the product to yourself, and then if you and other people sell the product to themselves, you will make money. And some of the people in your list might react like,
시작했는데 그 말 듣고 때려치우고 이거 하겠어요?
no, I don't do that.
그런데
But
어떤 일을 하다가
some of them
때는 안 했는데 아니 막 2년 3년 계속 그 얘기를 하면은
might still keep that in mind for 2 or 3 and 5 years, and someday
뭔가 하기를 해야 돼.
they might be remembering your words and your saying, and then will contact you
결정을 할 수가 있다.
one day.
그래서 여러분들은 말을 던지는 사업이에요. 던지는.
So it is all about spreading the words. Once you spreading the words,
이 씨 뿌리는 거하고 비슷해요.
it is like spreading the seed.
그냥 씨를 뿌려 놓으면 이게
Just
생명
spread the seed, and that all of the seed has its own life, so it might grow.
떨어지고 가시도
The Bible also said that it could tumble in the soils and the
모르는 게 있어. 그 사람이 이 네트워크 마케팅의 씨앗을 잘
bushes and so on.
토의 마음을 가지고
The same goes for the network marketing. We need to see that whether our network marketing is the bush or the soil, we don't know it, but we could just spread the seed first. And the seed might be landed on the rich soil, and it could be fertile.
전할 때도
The same goes for
던지면 되는
sharing the gospel. We just share the gospel, and then the gospel will be spreaded, and it will be landed in some good place. Even though you might think that it is really infertile land, you could still spread the seed, but it found to be the rich soil, the fertile soil. It could be quite different from its appearance.
네, 회장님, 다음 질문 한번.
Thank you very much. Let me move on to the next question.
회장님, 우리가 애터미를 시작하면서 많이 느꼈던 게 초청이 굉장히 중요하다 생각합니다.
We think that invitation is really important. And what could be the good method of invitation, and how many times do I need to contact the people?
그래서 초청은 명단에 작성해 놓고
So let me talk about the invitation. Once you write down the invitation, you need to start inviting people. It is all the same like the spreading the seed. At first, you need to spread the seed. You need to spread the seed of network marketing, the Atomy. Scatter the seed.
전도를 할 때요.
When I
아무나 잡고 전도합니다.
do the missionary work, I just meet random people.
사람을 안 가려요. 예를 들면은 뭐 저는 한번 시장님하고 식사를 하는데
One day, I had a lunch with mayor,
시장님 저는 교회 장로입니다.
and I said, Mayor, I am an elder of a church, so I need to pray first before we have a meal. So I said, let me pray first. So I pray.
어이, 시장님 이제 시종 잘 하시고 건강하시고 또
Mayor,
세상에서 뿐만이
I hope everything
하늘나라에
goes well, and please
그리고 아멘 하고 기도.
bless him
근데 이 시장님이
with the hope of the heaven,
끝나고 나서
and amen. And at the end of my prayer,
끝나고는 기도 안 합니다.
the mayor said, don't we need to pray at the end of the meal?
처음 들어봤어요.
Actually, it was the very first time listening to like that, because mayor is so far from the Christianity. So mayor said, don't we need to pray at the end of meal? So I was so embarrassed. But anyways, I found the mayor interesting in my prayer. So I said, of course we could do it, and we could do at the end of the meal, and I did it. So recently I met one congressman around this area.
이제 기독교계에 이제 뭐 장로님들 목사님들하고 같이 모여 있는데 표 얻으러 왔어요.
And that man came to us because there are a lot of elders and the people of the church gathered together. And we asked, if you won this election, will you attend church? And he said, sorry, I am
그리고 내가 천주교 고등학교 나왔는데 거기 복음이
Catholic. And I said, I also went to Catholic high school, but I think the gospel is not that much stronger. So I think that it's better to attend church rather than the Catholic church. So it is really hard to be saved in that Catholic church. So just please come to this our church. And that congressman, the candidate, didn't answer, and he texted me again. And so I said, "How about church?"
그랬더니 막 찬미의 수막 이렇게
And that candidate replied me with an like empty answers. Anyways, whomever I met, I try to spread like share the gospels. And I also play golf. And whenever I play golf, I try to give Atomy product to the caddies on the golf courses. Whenever I met them, I give my Atomy sunscreen. It is really, I think it is quite famous. Like Atomy chairman is giving a lot of Atomy product to the caddies. And I also asked them, do you go to church? And they answer, I need to work on the weekend, so I cannot go to the church. And I said, you could watch the video of these pastors, and I gave them some kind of homework. And then I said, next time when we meet, I will check whether you watched or not. And I also tipped them a lot.
그러니까 어떻든 뭐 그중에는
Anyways,
하는 분이 있더라고. 제가
among them, there were some caddies who did the homeworks.
복음을 전하듯이 여러분
Like this, like we share the gospels,
오늘도 오다가
you need to spread the seed of Atomy.
그 땅을 소개해줬던 부동산 사장님이 전화가 왔어.
I got a phone call from one realtor, and that
아들은 뭐 무슨 뭐
real estate agent said my business went worse and my son's business also went worse. And he asked me, is there any good job position for me? And I said, to start Atomy business. So I said, to start this business with your son. I also introduced a center.
연락하도록 하겠다고 그렇게 해준 거예요. 그러니까 저도 이렇게 시도 때도 없이 그냥 이 사업을 권유를 해요.
Like this,
코드 하나 빼가지고
I always introduce this product to a lot of people. I believe that if I got one code, I might get a lot more commission than that of 박정숙 Imperial Master.
이제 여러분들이 명단을 작성하는 것도 하는 거지만은 누구를 만나.
After
그래서
writing down the list, you need to start meeting more people. Now we have the Go 100 campaign. It is all about listing down. If after you do the Go 100 campaign, you could add up your list, and then the cold contact will be converted into the warm contacts. Let's say that I go to Iksan for the Go 100 campaign. I made the Royal Master, the mother of 최정숙 Imperial Master. Anyways, she
언니 동생이야.
had a lot of friends in the Iksan city. And a lot of people said, hi sister, hello. Because she sold a lot of product and she introduced the business to a lot of people. So all of the people in that city were the friends of her.
우리 회장님 모시고 왔어. 막 이러니까 막 아이고 막 어이. 그래서 처음에는 다 이렇게 콜드 컨택이지만은 계속 반복해서 만나면은 그게 웜 컨택이 된다.
So this kind of cold contact could be converted into warm contact if you do it continuously. So let me move on to the next question. Thank you.
그다음에 그다음에 이제
Okay.
초청을 하는데
Okay, next invitation.
여러분들이 그 초청을 하는 것이 이제 명단 작성을 하고 이렇게
After you write down the list and you start the contact, and then you need to meet them in Korea. You need to bring them to the centers and seminars. We call it the process of A, B, C.
A는 어드바이저
A
설명해 주는
is advisor, B is bridge.
역할을 하는 사람. C는
C
커스터머.
is customer.
그래서 요 자기가 이제
So
설명할 수도 있지만은
you could explain it by yourself, but as a beginner, you could let your sponsor explain the business. You could bring them to the centers and you could let them attend the seminars. And you could also invite them to the seminars, and all of the lecturer could be an advisor. So we need to follow the principle and the rule of ABC. The best one is to study by yourself, and you need to do the advisor and the bridge at the same time. And then you could be the jack of the all trades. If you could study and if you are skilled enough, you need to learn more. You need to learn the product, you need to learn the business plans. But these days, it is really easy to study because we've got the tool YouTube. So you could just watch videos every day. You don't need to sleep a lot. If you die, you will sleep a lot, so don't sleep a lot. Yesterday, I stayed up all night since 3 a.m. in the morning because I need to write down the article on the newspaper. Since I'm not a professional writer, I need to write a lot, and then I need to summarize into the compact version. And I got a lot of requests from here and there that I am really good at writing. The dean of Handong University said I am really a good writer, so why don't you write more? And I got a lot of calls like this. Anyways, please read my article on 국민 Daily newspaper.
그래서 여러분들이 그 누구를 만나든지
So,
혼자 다 해낼 수 있는 실력을 갖추면 최고로 좋다.
of course, it would be the best for you to have all the abilities,
사람도 있어.
but not everyone can do that.
이제 스폰서나
So you can ask your sponsors to help you,
파트너를 활용해.
or your partners.
되잖아. 파트너 밑에 달아놓고
And you can put those new people under the partner, and you can ask the partner to introduce the business. And later on, the partner can become the bridge, and you can keep recruiting new people for them under them. And the best thing is to invite them to the seminars. That is the ABC principle. Okay. Next question.
아토미를 알아보고자 하는 분에게 가장 중요한 부분이
The business introduction is very important for newbies. So what information should I explain and show?
괜찮은가
4 things. First of all,
들이 많아요.
there are many people who don't believe if the company is good. But Atomy have some absolute information.
안정성 지표 1위가 애터미.
Atomy is number 1 for the management stability index. In the past, many different
없어질 거냐 안 없어질 거냐. 이거를
network marketing companies went bankrupt. So many people are worried about the company's future. Our stability index is better, is higher than Lotte Mart and E-Mart because we don't have any debt and we get a lot of interest from banks. We have no debt, so we don't have any chance to go bankrupt.
회사가 그리고 공정거래위원장이 특별상을 줄 만큼
And the chairman of the Fair Trade Commission also gave us an award, and we got the CCM certification. And these are the things that
여러분들이 이제
network marketing companies in the past couldn't even imagine. So you can show this clear facts. And you can explain about our products, absolute quality and absolute price. Our cosmetics
유럽 브랜드 이런 것
can beat those European brands. Like their price is about $3K, $5K of per bottle.
그런 수준인데
You still remember what Executive Director Han Sang-in said, right?
경력을 살려가지고
He used to be the
말도 안 되는 소리 하지 마라.
I used to be the owner of the cosmetic factory, and I asked them to explain why the cosmetics should be expensive, more expensive than fruit juice. And next, we don't have to pay money for the department stores and promotion TV commercials. Do you know the cost of very expensive ampoule? I am confident to say that their cost would be lower than us because they have those expensive bottles, they have those expensive models, and a lot of TV commercials and promotions, and they have to pay for the rents for those airports and a lot of luxury department stores, and they compete against each other for the rent. And many people just buy those expensive cosmetics.
저기 뭐야 그 직원이 되게 안 팔리는 스카프가 있었는데
And there was a scarf which was not very popular, and a staff made a mistake to add one more zero, and it started to be sold because of the high price, and that is the high price strategy. And that is the very common strategy in the cosmetic industry, but we are different. We have very high quality based on science and research, and we provide it for consumers at a very cheap price. And if you use it, you can feel the effect. Our Imperial Master Park Jung-suk, she doesn't use the European brand. Why? She's very rich, but still, and she earns like $100K every month. She buy the flight tickets like first class because she has a lot of money. Of course, others buy those luxury cosmetics, but she doesn't because Atomy cosmetics are better. And you need to understand the compensation plan so that you can figure out your future income, to figure out how to manage your team. So you should be very clear about your future and you should have some knowledge. So if you don't understand the plan, you will be told that you should do some bettings. You should spend your own money. That is not right. They were kicked out of the Atomy. There were among them was a lawyer master. He was not a real master, and they were kicked out of Atomy. You should understand the compensation plan to make your team bigger, to figure out your future. So I can earn this much money with this size of team. So if you have the compensation plan in your mind, then that means you have a map towards your dream as an Imperial Master. If you don't have any map for your future plan, then you would feel nervous. For example, you became an auto sales master and you just feel like it is very difficult. You have Shadow Masters, Star Masters, and I feel like it's only 20% of the entire goal. Then what should I do? But if you are a auto sales master, that is not 20%, that's 80% of your goal. If you understand the compensation plan in a truly manner, then you would understand what I'm saying. You reached 80% of the goal as a auto sales master. So you should truly understand the compensation plan. If you don't really know, then you should try and explain the compensation plan to others, or to your children, or to your dog. Listen, my dog. You can try and explain
저는 그 네트워크 마케팅에 전설 같은 리더들 중에서
Among the leaders,
나홀로 강의를 했다.
legend leaders of network marketing, they would say
아무도 듣는 사람이 없어. 그러니까
they once had to do the lecture without any audience because no one came
여러분들이
and they cried but still kept doing the lectures. And that is a legendary story.
사람한테 어떻게 강의를
So
듣는가 하는
if you want to be a good lecturer, then and if you want to understand the compensation plan, then you can practice by
안
yourself.
해도 돼요. 그렇지만 그래도 학교 다닐 때
Of course, it is not easy to understand and to explain, but you might remember as a student.
하여간
Of course, different schools have different situations, but if you were above the 40th out of 50 people, then you can do that. But if you were among the
또한
last one,
한 것이 사업의
if you're not really good student, then you can find other ways. And you should also know the vision. You should also talk about the company's vision.
지금 AI 시대가
This is
되잖아요.
the era of AI,
이 팩토리 오토메이션
and factory automation FA
공장에 사람이 줄어들어가지고요.
would come true, and we will have less people working in factories. So the industry has grown very big, but we don't have as much people working in the factory. And because of office automation,
몇 명인 줄 아세요? 5명밖에 없어.
there are only 5 people working for a
또 하루에
big company with the value of 2.5 trillion Korean won.
구매가 들어오지
How come
그런
it became possible?
않는데 어떻게 5명이서
How come only 5 people can do all the work? Because it is possible because of computers.
그러니까 일자리가 없어지는 거예요.
That is why many people are losing jobs.
창의적인 일을
And those creative jobs, of course, so far have been used to be done by humans, but those jobs are also replaced by AI people.
목사님이 성경 보고 준비해서 사는 수밖에 없지. 근데 요즘에는 AI 목사가 있어가지고요.
And recently, we also have AI pastor.
설교문을 20분짜리
They can do write down a 20-minute preach script, and I tried it. Wow, it's really good. I thought the AI referenced many different materials all over the world, and I thought that the preach script is really good. You can try, give it a try with ChatGPT. You can put one phrase from your Bible and ask the AI to write down a 10-minute preach script. It doesn't take like several minutes, several seconds, and the result is really good. So those creative jobs are now being done by AI. Then what should people do? 70% of jobs will disappear, and 30% of new jobs will be created thanks to the AI. Then with the remaining 40% would be lost. That is a disaster.
실업률이 5%에서 10%로 가면
The unemployment, if it goes from 5% to 10%, then it is a disaster. The government would go bankrupt. But if the number is 40%, not 10%, then the result will be disastrous. Then what should they do for their daily living? And we will not have those delivery man in the future, because we have autonomous cars. The President Yoon Suk-yeol visited the Wuhan and created a track for a very fast highway. super fast highway,
그러니까 120km 달리는 게 아니야.
not 120 kilometers per hour. I don't remember the number. For example, 200 kilometers, and cars, vehicles can drive themselves on the highway. So if you just push a button, then the vehicle will drive itself. So delivery man will lose their jobs, and we have delivery robots registered as a delivery man. Legally, they are same with delivery man. They used to be very confused about the sidewalk and roads, but they can now tell the different roads. They can do the delivery jobs, drone robots as well. The drone delivery robots. So I have a patent in an apartment complex in order to deliver a parcel. Then how can we realize drones? Drones don't know where it should deliver the parcels. So we can utilize our porch, and you can have a box that it automatically reach out, and then drone would drop your parcel. This is the patent that I have. That is why I don't sleep. So this is the new era. With smaller number of jobs, we will have more people joining us. So we should be ready to accept them. So you should first become very successful, saying that I did it, I made it, so you can also do that. And in the past, there is one thing that would not disappear. That is daily necessities. Daily necessities are very important. Even during the war, would you people would still brush their teeth during the war. And when the economy is not in a good shape, cosmetics would have even better sales. And there is effect called lipstick effect, because that means many people buy more lipsticks when the economy is in a bad shape. So the cosmetic industry will not suffer from economic depression. I tried the imkorea.com internet department store. I did nothing wrong. Hansol CS Club, that was owned by Samsung LG shop. There were some 3 to 4 shopping malls, and my website had the largest number of items. My website was perfect. Then why I went bankrupt? Actually, I did nothing wrong. Other companies, those other competitors, didn't really do well. They had a lot of loss, but they were supported by the group company. So that is why they are still alive. I have always tried to become the first mover for every trend, but that requires you to have a lot of money. For example, you can have a hologram from your smartphones. Of course, you can do that, but that costs a lot of money, trillions of dollars. Like a hologram, I can have my beautiful wife, and you cannot touch her, but you can still see her. And it's not like FaceTime. You can actually see her like in front of you and as a hologram. And you can actually feel. And you can smell. 3D, 4D, 5D, 6D cinema technology. So you have those vessels in the ocean, and you can actually feel those wind. And this is actually the cinema that we already have.
You must haven't visited there yet. Actually, it is all about 4D and 5D movies. We can make all of the videos into a hologram because we've got the technology. But I realized that in order to realize this technology, we need to have enough assets. Don't get confused. You might think that there's something that you could make some money from. If you are clever and if you are looking to, if you are in the IT industry, don't be a pioneer. Don't try to be a pioneer. Large conglomerate need to input a lot of money in order to achieve that technology in a reality with a huge amount of money. Rather, you need to do something that has never changed. All of the product in Atomy were the ones that we've used 100 years ago. Cosmetics. Cosmetics were already used 100 years ago, which means that in 100 years, these products will be still used. If you think that you want to be the pioneer of the change, you need to change your mind by doing the Atomy. If you do Atomy, you need to think that no matter how fast the world is changing, you need to do something that's not changed. So, the things are like shampoos. In 10 years, will it disappear? No. In 100 years, no. They will not disappear. No matter fancy technology will come out, we will still need shampoo. We need to wash our hairs. All of the things related to the human hygiene and the feelings will remain the same. The same goes for cosmetics. All of the daily necessity that we are dealing in Atomy will go forever in 100 years and 1,000 years. We need to focus on this thing that will not change. We are doing the business. We are doing the business that will not change. If you are dragged here by other people and if you've come here by yourself, you now get to know of this principle. Don't beg. Don't beg for the sales. Don't beg for people to sell the product or to make them registered. You are the rescuer. You will make them survive and you need to rescue them from the tides of the time. As a pioneer of the industry, you need to give pride into yourself. You need to be confident and you need to be pride. You need to let them know that I am the savior that will save your life. You don't need to do that. You need to follow me. This is the stance that you need to have. For example, to the friends who is a bank teller, you need to say that, all of the bank stores will close down in the future. And how come? What do you think about your future? In the early stage of Atomy, there were people at the toll gates, but now the job disappeared. Back then I said that these kind of people, this kind of job will disappear because now we have the detector in the car, so we are using the high pass. So all these kind of jobs disappear.
근데 한국은 이제 그런 거 없어졌단 말이야. 지금 앞으로 사람이 하고 있는
From now on,
식당에서 홀서빙 하는 거
the jobs like waitress, cook
누가 하느냐?
will disappear. All of this job will be replaced by robots. The robots will cook by themselves with the recipe. Now, the
이제 곧 나오는
robot humanoid has been fully developed and it will be fully commercialized very soon.
애완동물 파시고 하시는 분들 있잖아요. 애완동물 사업하는 분들.
And
디지털
the pet dealers. Very soon, the pet will be replaced by a digital pets. People no more have the hairy dogs. The dogs will be made in digital, the robot dogs. And the robot dogs will like reg attack and they will
지도 막 까불고 뻑 이러니까 쓰다듬어 주면은 막 꼬리 흔들고 막
they also act charming and they
춤도 막 추고요.
if you pat on them, they also dance and they will also sing a song for you.
저 잠자고 있으면은 막 깨우기도 하고.
And when you
여러 가지야. 막 와가지고
fall asleep, they might also wake you up, acting cute.
뭐 이제 성질 부리고 막 짖기도
And if you don't wake up, they will bark.
그런 이제 로봇 강아지들 막 이런 애완동물.
For example, so this kind of like robot pet will come out.
저기 뭐야 저 수의사님들 어떻게 되겠어요?
What about vets?
로봇 강아지한테 주사 놓고 할 거예요?
Do they need to inject the robot dogs?
이제 그런 것들을 이렇게
No. So these kind of future jobs, like this kind of jobs will disappear in the future. And you need to predict the future like this and you need to tell the story to the people who you meet. You need to tell the future scenario and then they might listen to your stories.
식당 조리업 하는
I said that the jobs like waitress and cook will disappear.
그리고요 나중에는 이제
And in the future,
뭐냐면은 그 사람이 음식 날라주는 것은 못 먹겠다는 얘기가 나와요.
people might say that I can't really eat the food served by a person, by a human, because they might think that human beings could have a
서빙 로봇을 파는 회사에
Slavia and this kind of bacteria could be put on the food, so I don't like to get the food served by the human waitress. So this kind of thing will be the future. And then what will be the future job? From this perspective, you need to think about it and you need to rescue them.
그런 생각을 가지
This is the mindset you need to have.
하시란 말이에요. 지금 애터미는 충분히 그렇게 할 수 있는 거예요. 자 그렇게 하실 거죠?
Do you agree?
근데 그렇게 당당해지려면 이게 얼마나 비전 있는 비즈니스인지를 알아야 된다.
And you need to see the vision.
공부하세요.
And in order to get the vision, you need to learn more.
말하라고 그랬어.
In the past, I said don't study, but now I need to say that you need to study. Thank you very much. Thank you, Chairman Park. Now we get to know the vision at the business plan. Then let's please talk about the follow-up.
구속 관리에
Okay, let me talk about the follow-up. The basic principle of follow-up is to make them successful.
내 파트너 때문에 내가 성공하는 것이 아니고 나 때문에 파트너가 성공한다.
You need to make your partner successful because of you.
그래서 여러분들이 주도자가 돼야 되는 거예요.
You need to take the lead.
그러니까 남 탓을 하면 안 돼요.
And don't blame other people.
못하는 사람들의 대표적인 특징 중에가
The characteristic of the people who couldn't succeed
이유를 찾아요.
is that they try to find out the reason from the outside. They normally said that they have bad sponsors, they have bad products, blah 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 blah.
전부 다 밖에서
They try to make an excuse.
여러분 성공적인 삶을
But in order to live a successful life,
살고 원인을 찾지만
you need to find the solution and the reason from inner side of you. You need to blame on yourself. You need to blame everything on you. When my business went bad,
망하게 하고 그런 사람들
I never blamed it on other people around me. Of course, I had someone whom I can blame on,
회사가 하나 망해가지고 갈 때 직원 중에도 그런 사람도 있고
There were some employees like that in my company and outside of the company. There might be, but I never
원망을 해본 적이
blamed on that people.
미안하다고.
I always say sorry to them.
그래서 그러면요 자기가 준비가 되는 거예요.
And then
탓하는
you
사람
could be ready for them.
실패를
If you blame something on other people, you will never get ready. So that the failure will be repeated. If you are not that much successful, it means that you have been experiencing a lot of failure. So from now on, don't try to blame something on other people. Try to find the reason from yourself. And then you need to think that you need to help your partners. And then you need to think that you need to lead your partners and make them successful. This is the mindset that you need to have.
물건 하나 팔아먹고 만다든가
It is not about selling a product. It is not about accelerating sales.
여러분 그 사람을
You need to
시키는 것이
make the mindset
보다 앞서는
of
사람들이
making
성공하는
other people successful. If you take the lead, it could be possible.
내가 이번에 직급 유지하거나 직급 달성하는데 그 사람 그냥 베팅 시켜가지고 밟아버리고
If you do some bettings and if you purchase a lot of product and if you've got a lot of inventory and next month you do another betting, this is the failure, the worst scenario of the follow-up.
라고 얘기하기보다는 후속 관리의 나쁜 예를 들어줘.
I would like to take the bad examples of the follow-up right now.
후속 관리를 잘못하고 있는 예를 들어주는 거다 하는 겁니다. 그러니까 절대로 베팅 유도하고
So
그런 거
don't try to induce the bettings.
멍청이들이에요.
It's so stupid.
내가 여러분들이 딱 관심 가져야 될 거, 여러분들이 성공하기 위해서 관심 가져야 될 거는 내 파트너.
All you need to focus on is the consistent income of your partners.
집단에는 영리해가지고.
And
아이고 이번에
some stupid people think that this time I need this amount and I need more, and if I become this level, I need 1 million Korean won more.
그런데
And then
100만 원을
if I use 1 million Korean won, I could get 2 million won. Do I need to do that or not? Yes, we need to do that because we are not stupid.
아니 100만 원, 200만 원 쌌더니 200만 원 수당이 나와.
For example, if you use 2 million and you will get 2 million and with the product, do we need to do that or not? Yes, we need to do that. But the stupid people do like this.
중간에 수당이 공짜로 올라가네.
Oh, if I
그래가지고
use that money, my partners
그럼 너는 손해 나는 거.
commission will also increase, and they said to their partners, hey, please send me some amount of money because thanks to me your commission will be increased.
자기는 손해 볼 줄을 몰라.
This is the bad thing. This is the stupid things.
때는 어떻게 하냐.
Don't even try to do that. If you want to do that,
했다는 걸 전혀 눈치 못 채게 해.
please make the people not aware of that you're doing the betting.
나오면 본전이잖아요. 그렇지?
Yes, if you use 2 million Korean won and if you get 2 million won, it is like even. So you could do that. Okay, you could use your product and this is like valuable product, so you could do that. But if you do want to do that, don't even tell your sponsor and partners.
아이고 어디서 그냥
You just say that,
그러면서
oh, I got order from somewhere, so
매출 일으켰어.
I make the sales from this side, so it's so lucky, and I'm very happy that it was helpful to you. And it is like feeling happy with others' happiness. But if you want to calculate that kind of commission, and if you like to give some money from that partners,
스폰서가 얄밉다는 거 알까 모를까 다 한단 말이야.
the partner might notice that their sponsor is bad. So don't even try to do that. If you need to take care of your partners and you need to make your partner have the consistent income, and then in that way your business will go better.
그러면은 내 소득은 지속적으로 될까요?
And then your sales could also guaranteed. Of course, if you make your partner sales consistent, your sales also be consistent.
그리고 또 멍청이들은
Some stupid people think that,
가지고 있어. 생각이
they need to calculate the bigger and the smaller sails.
난 소실적 기준.
They said only see the bigger legs, and sometimes they only take care of their smaller legs and so on. But normally,
좌우가 다 소실적이야.
most of the people have the smaller leg on their left and the right side, because
그 라인이
your bigger line,
있어요?
your bigger line has an imperial master. It means it is a smaller leg.
아니 지금 여기 자기 밑에
If you have
자론 노주도 없는데 그걸
If you don't have any Sharon Verse Master, you cannot call it a bigger leg.
여기 샤론 로즈도 지금 소실적이고 이쪽에 있는 다이아몬드도 소실적이고 둘 다 소실적이구나. 둘 다 잘 키워야 되겠구나. 이렇게 생각을 해요.
You need to think that, oh, this one is also the smaller leg, and this one is also the smaller leg. I need to grow both of them. You don't know which part will be the bigger leg.
소실적만 신경 쓰다가
If you
뭐가 하나 들어오고 막 해외에서 막 라인이 나가고 그래가지고 그러니까 여기 가가지고 이제 거들어준다고 하고 뭐 하고 막 이렇게
take care of just only one line, and if you ignore the other line, other people in your line will recognize it right away. That's why sometimes the relationship between the sponsor and the partners went bad and went worse. There's only reason, that is because the person doesn't take care of the partner's income, and that person only take care of their own incomes.
다른 게 아니라고 하는 얘기를 듣고 있어요. 제일 힘든 게 인간관계라고 그래.
You know, the most difficult thing in the life is to make a good relationship. Making a good relationship is the most difficult one. That is all because of
바보들은 이 파트너 때문에
the stupid people. Stupid people said that that's because of this partner. This is because of the other sponsor. They always blame something on other people, and they also move their line, and they met that kind of stupid people once again. If you hop that kind of lines back and forth, you cannot find the reason, because all of the problems might be come from your side, from you yourself. Don't try to blame something on the people around you. Don't try to change them, because their parents failed to change it. Their teacher failed to change them. How come you could change that person? Don't even try to change that person. Just let them go. The person who need to change is you yourself,
빠진 그 파트너
your partner, your
그냥 수당만
bad partner.
안 하고 이런 꼴태지 그냥 놔두라고.
Just let he or she go.
그냥 놔두고
Just let them go and just admit it. Okay, I'm happy that you are anyways making money. Okay, live your life. Okay, make money. This is the mindset you need to have. And then when that person makes money, you will also make money. When that peak
칭찬해주고 아이고
gets compliments from your side and encouraged by you,
그렇게 얘기를 하시란 말이에요. 그러면은
they will feel happy and they will say, "Oh, I like you. I know you don't like the peak,
여러분들이
but
그렇게
you need to hide your feelings, and you need to hide your emotion, and you need to treat them like you like them, and then your relationship will get better." When I do this Atomy business, I never experienced a bad relationship. I've met a lot of people, and more people than you.
사람 있어요 우리 사업자 중에
I think among all of you, I might be the one who meet the most largest number of the people. I never get tired of the personal connections. I'm tired because I need to do a lot of lectures and I need to stand up for a long time. But I don't really get tired because of the personal connections. Do you think that Park Jong-soo Imperial Master had a good characteristic? And that's why she has a good connection? No. She's so mad,
이 남자들이
and
박정수 치마 밑으로 숨어가지고 박정수 앞장 세워가지고 그 뒤에서 숨어가지고 자기들 하고 싶은 얘기 내한테 다 했어.
a lot of bad men hid behind Park Jong-soo Imperial Master, and they manipulated Park Jong-soo Imperial Master, and they deliver what they want to say to me through Park Jong-soo Imperial Master. I knew all of it. Sometimes we could think that we don't like each other, but whenever we feel like that, we could admit it and we could understand each other.
아무 문제도 없어.
I have no issue with Park Jung-soo Imperial Master. I don't know.
본인은 맺힌 게 있는지 모르지만은 나무
I don't know what Park Jung-soo Imperial Master thinks, but I have no issue with Park Jung-soo Imperial Master and Park Yong-woo Imperial Master. Even though he drinks like a whale, I have no issues. I have no issue with this man, this guy. It is just I always said that it's a blessing for me to meet this kind of people. I said this because they are good.
어? 뭔가 문제가 있으니까 고지되고 망했겠지. 어? 근데 나 만난 뒤로는 서로 좋은 사람들이 됐단 말이야.
After they met me, they became a good people. And that's because I am a good person. Believe it or not.
그래서 바꿀 거는 자기밖에 없어.
So the only thing you should change is yourself.
맞짱 뜨다가 지금
And
꼬리 내려.
I say I'm sorry to my staff as well.
또 김경희 이사가 막 내가 뭘 시켰는데 막 안 하더라고.
Director Kim Kyung-hee didn't do something and she said she will quit the job. So I said, sorry, I'm sorry.
했던 말 다 취소할게. 그리고 하자는
I'm cancel all the comments. So I will follow what you want. She's the branch manager of Malaysia. She is beautiful, but she's strong, and I don't have any issue with her because I said, I'm sorry. I will cancel all the comments I said.
바꿀 건 자기밖에 없어요.
So the only thing that you should change as yourself.
주변의 인간관계 힘들다.
If you have if you have some hardships in your personal relationship, then you should try and change yourself. Thank you very much so this is the last part
복제의 중요성을 듣고 싶습니다.
about the importance of duplication.
우리 네트워크 마케팅 비즈니스를 복제 사업이라고 합니다.
So this is the business of duplication, network marketing business.
카피라는 말하고는 좀
Duplication and copy is different.
그 이제 카피하고 복제는 duplication 이렇게 얘기를 해요.
So we say duplication, which is different from copy.
이렇게 나무가 있어.
For example, there is a tree. You can make another tree, copy the tree using plastic. That's copy, how you can copy the tree. But we can create the same tree. How to do that? We can get one fruit from the original tree, and we can sow the seeds, and we can grow the tree. That is called duplication. Have you heard of the duplicated sheep? We don't call them a copied sheep. Because why? Because we duplicated the animal to create the exact same thing. Sometimes you might think that I want to drive a good car, I want to earn 20K or 30K dollars. With that money, I can do this business very well. And I'm not doing this business very well because I don't have a good car, I don't have a lot of assets. That's how you are trying to copy the business. Then what is duplication? You should try to do the same thing like the person, the leaders, like what the leaders did in early days. For example, Imperial Master Park Jung-soo, she never skipped seminars, and so she had her daughters were elementary schoolers,
문제가 되고 어디다 맡겨놓고
but
막,
sometimes
그 이모집
she
안
couldn't
되냐고
find
막,
anyone
중학생
who
네가
can take
더
care
어린
of
동생
the
보고 내가
children.
동생 잘 돌보겠다고 그러니까 뭔가 이제 거기 가서 아기들이 불편했다는 얘기죠. 그러니까 엄마
And
입장에서는
she
가슴이
tried
무너져 내리는
to
거예요.
ask
그러면서도
her
세미나에
sister
절대 안
to take
빠지고.
care
그럼
of
또 가가지고
her
그
children, but
막내딸이 자꾸
the
뭐
children
어쩌고
said
저쩌고
they want
하면서
to
전화하고
go
뭐
there.
언니가 머리를 뭐
But
마음에 들게
still,
묶어줬는지 안 들게 묶어줬는지
Master
애기니까 이제 뭐
박정숙
그런
didn't
얘기를 하고
skip
그러면은
the
엄마로서는 그런
seminars,
것이
and
정말 답답하고
she
하지만은
would
그래도
get some
자기가 이
calls
사업에
from
대해서
her
성공을 해야
daughters,
되겠다는 그런 생각을
seeing a lot
가지고
of
절대로 빠지지
complaints
않고
being
정말
by
눈물을
themselves
머금고
without
해왔던
mother,
그런
but
과거들이 있단
still
말이에요.
she kept the
그래서
principle and she kept the promise
그러니까
to
이제 뭐
herself to not
애들
to
아빠는
skip
또 우선
seminars.
어디에 가고
And
따로 일을
her
하고 있고 막
husband
집은
worked
미국이고
far
경찰
away from
남미고
her, and she
어머니가
lived
와서
in a
일을
very
일을
small
하는데 한 집에 살 수도 없고 막
studio,
이래가지고
and
가족들
of
뿔뿔이
course her
끓이는
mother
그런
took care of
과거가
her
있는데
children,
그런
but the
속에서도
house was so
애터미
small
하나만
to live
바라보고
together.
인내하고
Still,
정성했던
she
그런 시간들이
kept
지금
working
우아하게
for her business, and that is
부스
how
시스터가
she
이번에
became
또 차를 한 대
successful.
샀다고
She
그러더라고.
used to have an
그게
Accus,
이제
and she recently bought a new
포르쉐
car, Porsche.
하나 딱 샀다고. 근데 또 뭐 그 911 안 사고 파라메나인가 해서 그건 좀 편안해요. 그런 거툭
911.
어떻든 우아하잖아요. 예, 차 두 대씩
Very
가지고 이렇게
elegant.
살아갈 수 있는 거 이런 부분들. 그러니까 여러분들이 그 바닥을 기어왔던 그때를
So she went
보고
through all the
그대로 따라서
hardships.
하다
If
보면은
you
나도
try
이렇게
to
되겠구나 하는 것이
duplicate
머릿속에
her
그려져야
how she
우리
overcame
김광열
the hardships,
인테리어는
then you can
하루에 300명을
uh,
만났다고 그러잖아요.
become very successful like
아침부터
her.
나가지고 밤늦게
And our
왜 그렇게
Impel Master
해왔겠습니까?
Kim Kwang-yeol, he
자, 300만
tried
모진
and
거는
met
한 달에 30만 원씩
300
내는 집에서
people
살고 있어.
every day.
그런데
He was living in a
포크레인 스페어 기사를 하다가 잘렸어.
house
그럼 이제 30만 원도 못 내.
with
그러니까
the
이제 집 주인한테
$300
10달
rent.
동안 집세를 못 낸다. 그러니까
And
그 보증금에서 10달 동안 깔아. 이렇게 얘기를
the
해놓고
deposit
자기는
was
이제 10달 안에 성공을 못하면 어떻게 돼요?
$3K.
성공을 못하면 이제 길거리 나오는 거야.
Then
보증금
he
300만
has
원
only
정도
10 months left
그러니까
to pay the
아무
rent
맛도 없이,
using the deposit. That is
길거리가
why
다 까매지면
he
그때 집에 들어가.
worked really hard day and
그렇게
night.
해서 300명씩 만나고 자야
So
돼.
he
그런데
met
그런 기간이
300
한없이
people every
성공을
day,
했습니다. 그게 아니에요.
not forever, not very long.
다들 뭐 고생했다고 그러잖아요.
Of course, they
뭐
had some
인테리어를
hardships.
고생했다는 소리 보면은요.
Actually, their stories went like 1 to 2 years, and they are talking about it for 15 years.
저도 뭐 280만 원짜리 중고 카니발 타고 다니면서
And I talk about my second-hand cars. I didn't really drive the car for a long period of time, and later on, I spent more time to drive very luxury cars, and we are talking about those horror stories, and that was a very short period of time. So you should be very
그래서 여러분들이 지금
extreme.
비참해야 돼. 여러분들의 모습이
You should be very desperate
그래야 나중에
so that you can have very good story to tell others.
다른 얘기 할 거 없어요.
You can tell them,
저는 어쩐 줄 아세요? 이렇게 시작해요.
you know what I experienced.
했거든요.
I experienced even harder situations, and you can say that I have this kind of story. So you are writing down your story. So you should be extreme, and that would last very long. You should be very extreme. Of course, you can be rejected in a very hard way, but that's okay. Someone would throw water away towards you, but that's okay. But not hot water is not okay. So because that would become the source of your story, successful story. The past of successful people can shine very brightly when the story has a lot of difficulties. So you should believe that the hardships and difficulties that you are experiencing would become a very good source of your success story. That's what I thought. That's why I kept saying this story. I didn't really drive that Carnival second-hand car for a longer period of time because the car went wrong, and that cost. And I bought it. I spent about like $3,000, but I didn't really drive the car for a longer period of time because it got some issues later on. So you can endure the short time of hardship. Can you do that? Thank you very much. So the lecture for the 8 steps for success was really, really impressive and was really, really good. It was really good time. So could you talk about some mindset and passion for our Atomians? So enjoy to be extreme. That's all from my side. So thank you very much, Chairman Park Han-gil. Please give him a big hand.
네, 회장님의 강의를 끝으로 1일차
구독, 좋아요 눌러주세요.